Thank you very much for asking this question. I guarantee you there are plenty of people wondering the exact same thing, and I'm so happy I could answer it for you. Now, I know that you mentioned that you have experience with tarot, but I know that there's a lot of people on this who's watching this who don't have experience with tarot. So, for those of you who don't know about tarot, tarot is a tool that we can use to talk to Gus, God, universe, or spirit. And a lot of people use a psychic to go and talk to them and talk to Gus with that kind of a situation. So the tarot reader, in theory, will prior to your reading go to themselves and talk to and like meditate. They will probably get into a mental space, a spiritual space, a physical space, an emotional space to be able to open themselves up to whatever the tarot has a message for you. Once you come to their table, there is a spread, and each spread has, it could be the Celtic Cross, which is a 10 card spread, a 3 card spread, a 1 card spread. There's like 25 card spreads, whatever you want to do. But each one of those placements has a specific meaning. The reader will read those cards and give you the advice, answer the question that you have from Gus, and just kind of see where you're at. Maybe it's a life check-in point, all that kind of stuff, and then send you on your merry way. I like to close off tarot readings with a breathing exercise, just to kind of create more of an experience, more of an open and a close, and then take that experience and take that advice off into my daily life, kind of a thing. Just to like not to close off the energy, essentially. Now, a tarot reading for a personal inquiry is essentially the exact same thing as a creative writing inquiry. You do the exact same thing, or at least how I would do it. You would open your mind up to whatever your intuition is trying to tell you about your writing project. You would pull the spread. Each spread has its own specific has placements for all the cards, and then because I would like to ritualize my creative writing practice. I think that it's better to let our minds and our bodies know that this is creative time. So we open with a breathing exercise, we open with a small meditation, and we close with a small meditation. And that's kind of how I feel like our bodies will get to know this is creative time, this is not outside world time, kind of a thing. Now, I got into tarot during the pandemic over 2020 when everyone was scared. We didn't know what was happening in the world, and everything outside was scary. And I my creativity was just kind of kaput. It was not nowhere near in sight. And I started listening to a writing podcast called Writing Excuses. And on there, one of the podcasters said that when she has writer's block, she pulls out her tarot cards. And all of this happened. I ended up going down a rabbit hole. I created my own practice. I got certified in reading tarot from Biddy Tarot. And I have read a bunch of books about character creation and different writing structures and world building and mentorship. And I found spreads online, spreads in books, all this kind of stuff. And again, I've created my own practice, and now I'm actually have a group that I'm building actually right now in order to bring more people who want to bring tarot and bring magic into their creative process. If you're going to start using tarot as a creative writing tool, is to find a deck that matches the world that you are trying to create. There is a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck that kind of everyone seems to call it the beginner deck, kind of a thing. I think that's kind of phooey. I think you can kind of start with any deck that you want. I use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith system. That's what all of these decks are kind of based off of. But if you are writing a dragon story, I very much so recommend you find a dragon deck that matches the world that you're trying to create, not use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, because seeing dragons and seeing how the dragons live in the deck, in the pictures in the dragon deck, are going to help you a lot more with just looking at the meanings of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. And that goes into vampires, that goes into witches, that goes into fairies, dogs, cats, haunted houses, Egyptians, India, all there's a bunch of different decks out there, all based on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, and I think that you can start with any of them. So now let's go over creative writing spreads, but instead of telling you about it, let me show you. This is the nice to meet you character spread that I've created, and this is a spread that you can use to create any character that you want. I'm actually going through all the card placements right now on my channel and kind of breaking down how to read a tarot card and associating the tarot card with the specific placement of the spread. So for example, here we've got number 1. That is, how does my character think? Number 2 is how does my character speak and communicate? Number 3 is how does my character feel? What do they feel? It's kind of chest, heart, stomach area. The right here, number 4 is what does my character like about themselves? Number 5 is how does my character receive or give love? Number 6 is what does my character dislike about themselves? And number 7 is what does my how does my character receive love? Now, all these other cards are still are basically character development. It's what do they like, what do they hate, what is their goal, what do they need to learn. This card at the bottom of the deck here, the card that's down here is basically is the card is their shade of glass, their shard of glass, their internal conflict that they're struggling with throughout their story or your story. Over the years, I have collected 40 to 60 spreads of anything from character creation to world building to your opening scene to creating a problem to outlining with the hero's journey, save the cat. We can do the 5-act structure, the 3-act structure, the 7-act structure. And essentially, it's the exact same thing as you're doing with a personal tarot reading. You are, for each beat of the spread or each placement of the spread, you're just reading the card and you're associating that particular question, that particular aspect of the spread with the meaning of the card, along with all of your intuition, along with everything else that you're getting with the prompts, the creative prompts to get yourself more into that world before you even probably wrote the first word. Now, what I also like about tarot is that it can give you so many more prompts and so many more answers as to what and who a character is or what is going on, and it creates something a lot faster than it does you trying to create it all on your own. The cards do all have specific meanings. You don't have to use all of their specific meanings, but they do help. But even if you didn't know and you needed to look in the book all the time, creating a world with one spread in the course of a week is a lot faster than just kind of free writing and saying, well, I like this. Maybe I like this. Maybe I don't like this. And just kind of seeing what happens and seeing what comes out. I think that the structure of the tarot, along with the structure of storytelling, along with the structure of world building and how stories are told, all just kind of talk to each other and they all work together as a team. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but if you do have any other further questions, please put them down in the comments. If you do want to join a community of writers who are using tarot to overcome their writing blocks or in their creative process, adding a little bit of magic to their creative process, maybe you want a little bit more access to me and all the spreads that I have been collecting over the years, you are more than welcome to join the Narrative Flow. It's a community that I'm building, and I would love to see you in there.